Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you. This is another episode of Encounter. We have with us today Avdut Shivanand, also lovingly known as Babaji. Babaji, a very warm welcome to you again.
Thank you.
In the last episode, you gave us a definition of cosmic energy, but you also mentioned very often the term mindfulness, which is in direct correlation to the level of stress people are experiencing nowadays. Is it a new concept, mindfulness?
It's an ancient concept. In the ancient time, the Shiv Yogis, when they used to enter in their sadhana, that was the first protocol they were to follow.
So we are rediscovering.
Practice. We are rediscovering that AVS mindfulness of Shiv Yog.
So tell us a bit about AVS mindfulness Shiv Yog.
See, a human being is body and mind.
Yep.
And of course consciousness. Will not cover consciousness, body and mind. And I always teach there's a mind over body. It is your mind who creates the diseases. It's your mind who creates happiness. It's your mind who creates success. It's your mind who creates failure. So the mind is working. Now I'll give you one example. If the person is stressed, so it is the mind he is experiencing through the mind, and that mind will pass on that stress to the body, and this will translate it a pain in the spinal cord, pain in the back, pain in the neck, pain in this. So this is the first, the body signal that something is going wrong, so you better correct it. But what we do in the modern medicine, that if there is a pain, we say painkiller. What is the painkiller? Is stopping the signals.
It numbs the pain.
Numbs the pain, but actually the problem is continuing. So we always say, connect your mind with the body. So if you are in a state of mindful knowingness, you are very powerful. So if you are not in a state of mindfulness, then a person is in state of what? Out of mind. If he is not in a state of knowingness, in which state he is? In ignorance. And many of the leaders of the community, I have found they are in a state of out of mind, I'm sorry to say, or ignorant state. And that's what I'm teaching them. The moment you enter into the state of AVS mindfulness, which is known as mindful knowingness, you become balanced and you become stable. And the moment it is mindless or ignorance, then the body responds in a different manner. And if you are in a state of AVS mindfulness, your body will respond in a different manner. Now I'll give you one example. The moment a person is out of mind, the stress will set in. When the stress is there, now we have to understand what is the stress. See, the human being, if we see the history, there was a program which is programmed in our intracellular memory, which is called fight and flight.
Fight
and flight. Like a caveman, when he receives another person, so either he'll fight, and if he finds that that person is stronger, he'll run away. So fight or flight.
Okay.
Even animals also, when they see animals, either they'll fight, and if the weaker person, he'll flight. Now in the modern world, we are not doing anything physical. We are doing everything mental. And fight and flight phenomena has not stopped. In a family, if one elder person is very angry or bossy, so the other junior, his children, youth, either they will feel like fighting or they will like to run away. But they don't go on the blows, but it is mentally they do it.
Surely.
You go to the office, your boss is very bossy, very demanding. So either you will have a response of fight the nothing doing and go to hell, or you will say flight, run away. Isn't it?
Yes.
I'll give you an example, like two animals, when they see the fight, it's an actual fight, it happens. But a human being cannot be uncivilized. He will do it mentally.
We have the ability to communicate also.
No, I'm just coming to that. So the moment that emotional response of fight and flight, which you are going to encounter in any case, like you are driving, the other person is driving on the wrong side, so he abuses you, you are in a stress. Now I want to explain it to you what happens to, medically it happens to you. The moment you go in stress, your endocrine system starts secreting adrenaline, non-adrenaline, cortisols. Why the body is secreting? Because you need energy. So the blood sugar will go up.
Surely.
Now it is not that you have to take a lot of sweets to raise your blood sugar. You can go under stress and your blood sugar will go up. You don't have to eat anything wrong to raise the cholesterol level. You go in the stress and your cholesterol level, the body will start secreting. So the blood sugar will go up. Why the blood sugar? Because the body thinks that you are going to fight, so your physical action, you need energy. So energy is the glucose. Then the blood supply in your arteries and veins, it increases. So the blood pressure increases. The heart has to work, because suppose you are fighting, so you need a lot of blood supply, so your heart rate is increasing. Or you are running, your heart rate is increasing, your blood pressure increasing. But actually no physical activity is happening, it is happening mentally.
Even your breathing also changes.
Breathing changes. So anger, the same thing. Fear, the same thing. Hopelessness, the same thing. Resentment, the same thing. Anxiety, the same thing. Now these are people, those who are experiencing. So what is happening in the blood chemistry is harmful, because you are not utilizing it. So when you are not utilizing it, this stress builds up. And medically it is proven that 90% of beginning of the disease is through stress. Like the cancer patients, they are already very much stressed. So why, whereas the body has the immune system to neutralize the cancer. How? Because the cancerous cells can be neutralized by phagocytes or our other cells, those who engulf. The cancerous cells can be avoided or can be curbed by our other cells, those who get connected with the cancerous cells and they don't allow them to reproduce. So this is the body immune system, and actually I want to reveal that many people, they have developed cancerous cells many times in their lifetime, and still they have not suffered from cancer.
Because the antibodies have worked to
the immune system. But when you are stressed, you create a cloud. And these cancerous cells, they hide under the cloud.
You mean constant stress?
There is, I'm going to come to that. There is an acute and there is a chronic. I will be telling the AVS protocol. So they hide. Now these defense cells, they cannot find. And once they multiply, then they attack the body and the cancer spread. So stress, that's why the WHO is more worried of NCD, the non-communicable diseases, and they are because of stress. Now the type of stress, there is a acute stress. Immediately you get like you are walking and suddenly you're going to fall down. It's acute stress. No one is responsible. But if you're walking and somebody pushes you, then you are going to enter into a chronic stress. So acute stress and chronic. Then if a person is under the chronic stress, then he develops the psychic impression. The chronic stress turns into psychic impression, and that psychic impression turns into a limiting belief system.
It becomes a habit. It becomes a...
It's a limiting, nothing can happen. So then this is the beginning of psychosomatic factor, as the AVS protocol says, AVS sciences says, that 100% root cause of every disease is psychosomatic factor. And 90% of the beginning of every disease begins from chronic stress and the psychic impressions.
Babaji, if you allow me to summarize this. So basically before, in the years of the cavemen, our body would produce chemicals.
Even now it is producing.
But then back then we would spend those chemicals because we were ready to fight, but now we don't fight, so it gets stored up in the body. And it keeps on accumulating, and this is partly one of the reasons why we have beginning of, you stop having ease and you start experiencing disease.
Disease, disturbance in ease is a disease.
Yeah. So that's why it's very important to start practicing AVS
mindfulness is very, very important. And just by 10 minutes of practice, you release the stress. And if a person wants the prevention, like nothing should come to you, prevention is better than cure, then 20 minutes morning, 20 minutes evening, practice of AVS mindfulness. If a person is developed some problems or complication, then make it half an hour morning and half an hour evening. If a person is really suffering from some diseases, then increase it to 3 times a day. And you will find the results are going to be much better. These are the adjuvant therapies along with the medical practices. It's not an alternative, but it's an integrative approach which is there. And it is not only to the physical ailment, it is a person is not doing very well in his profession, or he is a constant failure. So it is again because of the psychic impression. Now the chronic stress has turned into psychic impression, and psychic impression gives him a limiting belief that he cannot succeed. There are many people, those who have come to me and they said, you know, we were going to be very, very successful, and by the time we reach to the goal, we miss it. So it is because of those limiting beliefs, and if they follow the AVS mindfulness, they release it.
And all those chemicals stored up, if people practice sports, does it get released up to some extent?
See, I was coming to that if you are very angry in the office, your boss is really stressing you,
martial arts.
Then you tell your boss, give me half an hour, go out and go for a sprint, half an hour jog, sweat. So you can utilize that to some extent.
I hope my boss is listening.
So you can, you can utilize all this, because again it's a principle of fight and flight. So and if we go on accumulating, then this further stimulate the other anxiety.
This is within our DNA.
Yes, yes, the DNA, the cellular system, and all that. Yes.
You have mentioned very often the term psychic impression. Please define it for us.
See, the psychic impression, unfortunately, we put in our children. Like a small child, I saw one lady with a child and small child, and he just started running, and the mother was saying, "Come back, come back." He was running, and when she caught him, and she said, "You know, somebody will pick you. Bachcha uthane wala le jayega tumko. Don't you understand? You must hold my hand." So the child was scared and he was clung. So it's a negative psychic impression. Now when he meet anybody, he thinks he will kidnap him. So it's a fear psychosis is a psychic impression. So right from the beginning, like many people, those who had been suffering from certain diseases, I asked them when it started. So maybe during childhood, the parents didn't know how to handle the children, so they developed. The first step is stress, chronic stress, then it turns into psychic impression. There is a the AVS cosmic medicine. There is a thing called trigger response.
All right.
So when it's a psychic impressions is there, the trigger response is there. Happiness is your birthright, and it's so very simple. This is the AVS science of mindfulness, must be learned by everyone, must be practiced by everyone, even doctors. Because I told the doctors, why is it that the doctor who is specialized in a particular disease, after that, many of them, they suffer from the same disease. So it is a part of our cosmic medicine, where we tell the doctor that your journey is rogi se nirogi, because you are in a field of health. So first of all, your health should be robust.
Oh, of course.
But if you are suffering, then it is not correct.
You often hear doctors.
So rogi se nirogi se yogi, Shiv Yogi. That is the journey. And I tell them that you raise your cosmic vibrations by practicing AVS mindfulness so much that you must become a living medicine.
AVS treatment, does it work alongside medicine, or is it a separate entity?
No, it is integrative. The medicine is there. Now, the same medicine, one person is responding very well, another person is not responding at all. Now this you will, if you will measure, the stress level of this person was less, the stress level or anxiety or resentment was very high in the other person. So we are going to complement it. And at the same time, the cosmic medicine, which is a protocol for the doctors, the integrative cosmic therapies. So when they do along with that, they have said we have been able to cure the disease.
A lot of the psychic impressions, a lot of the beginning of disease, probably stress. Is it at the level of childhood because of the past?
It is not only at the level of childhood, even in the mother's womb. There was a girl who had come to the seminar. She said, I don't know, I feel that I'll fall sick. And no matter how much I try, and now I have started falling sick. So the mother was with her and she got up. She said, when I was pregnant, the doctor said that your child is going to be sick. And I was worried. And that is what the psychic impression she had passed on to the child. And she said, I cannot sleep. Now this is another thing which is very important for everyone, that they must have a very restful sleep. A deep sleep is a medicine. And if we are not able to sleep, we are building up a disease. I will explain to you that. So she could not sleep, and after third day, she said, now my thoughts of I will fall sick has reduced considerably, and I am sleeping properly. And then by the end of the seminar, she was grateful. She said, I'm out of that phobia. So she picked it up when she was in the mother's womb. And it is very important these days that we must sleep properly. Now when a person is suffering from insomnia, because when a high stress is there, it is the body start responding. The first is insomnia, high blood pressure, and pain. This is the thing, is an indication that the person is stressed. So if a person is following the AVS protocol and he has de-stressed himself, the first thing he will find is that he is having a sound sleep. Now, the medical practices are, if you cannot sleep, you take pills.
Sleeping pills.
Sleeping pills. But the stress level is there.
Surely.
So after some time, you become resistant. You need more dose. And those sleeping pills have side effects.
And you become dependent also.
Dependent and side effects. And efficiency goes down. And if you receive the pills of AVS science, you still sleep. And no side effect, then you don't spend money.
Would you have a protocol for a person before they go to bed to ensure a good sleep? A normal person?
Yes. In fact, I told them every 3 hours, you go like a person who is focusing, they need rest. So generally 2 hours a break is there. So I say take 3 hours and 3-minute AVS mindfulness. Just do it. And people are practicing now. Every 3 hours or every 2 hours, just for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and they remain mindful in a state of mindful knowingness.
What do they do for 2-3 minutes?
This is a meditation which I have taught them.
Okay, all right.
And you don't require anything, just sitting there in the office only. Close your eyes for 3 minutes. And you are fresh, you are active, you are motivated, and you are focused.
It is hard to believe, Babaji.
You meet 300 people. I will love to, if you want to interview them, oh, you will be very happy.
And they still need the 8 hours of sleep at night, or?
They sleep, yes, you need it. I want you to have a deep sleep, a normal life, a healthy life, and good, loving life.
Fantastic.
In our AVS protocol, even there is a process where we integrate each other, the husband-wife. I said, how many times you have looked into the eyes of your wife and your wife into the eyes of her husband? So sit there and hold your hands and just look and practice the AVS mindfulness just for 1-2 minutes. The relationship is improving.
Wow, sounds dreamy.
We are teaching them how to live. And every human being must live a quality life and must succeed. And if you have energy, if you have power, if you have focus of your mind, you will succeed.
Babaji, thank you very much. We're about to finish this episode. I have a few questions. I call it the quick fire round. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
You're welcome.
Are you a morning or evening person?
Morning or evening means?
Are you more productive in the morning or are you more productive in the evening?
24 hours.
Even in your sleep?
I am following the AVS protocol.
Do you prefer tea or coffee?
I enjoy anything comes to me, but not bitter coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
Hollywood, Bollywood?
Anything, whenever I'm free and the children, they play a movie, I enjoy. I'm saying, living in a state of mindful knowingness means you must relish everything.
Any movies that you really enjoy?
Action?
Action?
Yes.
Any specific movies you really like?
I don't remember names, but and the action movies are Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, nice movie.
That was very good.
And any books you're reading at the moment?
Generally, I don't read books. I have never read any book. Actually, I was trained in the Shiv Yog practices, that all the knowledge, all the wisdom, whether it is medical science or agricultural science or psychology or behavioral sciences, your fourth body, which is the causal body, everything is there. And in the young age, I said, let me read the scriptures. They said, no. I said, then how will I know the truth? He said, the truth, if you find, you be the book and you be the reader. Only then you shall find the truth. So now I download the information. So all the knowledge, yes, I had from the clouds, and the clouds is my fourth body. So this is how I do it.
You're being educated by life.
Life, yes.
Fantastic. I have a feeling that music plays a big part in your life.
Yes, very much. And the sound therapy is one part of AVS mindfulness.
You have a specific kind of music that you like?
I like all the soft music and music where you feel like dancing.
So I'm guessing you enjoy dancing also.
Yes, I would love to dance, and I tell everybody to dance. It's the best way of releasing stress.
What's your favorite food?
Actually, I prefer fruits and
Homegrown food.
and homegrown is frankly speaking, my food is cooked by my wife, my daughter-in-law, and my daughter, and they know my taste. Like the food which has a lot of tomatoes and a lot of chilies and a lot of pure ghee. Now that is the food. No, you add these things, and I love it. And I love soups.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Babaji, thank you very much for giving us so much of your time.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this episode of Encounter. Thank you very much for your attention. Catch you again very soon.